It's an awful noise. That's right.
Okay, very good. And I can appreciate that. And of course, we've got about 3 minutes.
Sure.
Reverend Taylor, and it seems to me that when you talk about these large mass choirs,
yes,
you're also dealing with an issue that dealing with, in a real sense, the new or the modern African church, which is to say it's no longer the very, very small church.
That's right.
It's really the large
yes,
church, thousands of
yes,
members
yes,
with these massive choirs,
yes,
and et cetera, and et cetera.
That's right.
Now, how would you confront that kind of situation?
I believe we'll have to compartmentalize the music. I think the elderly should have their own Sunday where they can worship and not be threatened. And I actually wear earplugs in worship here, you know, to protect my hearing. And I'm threatened by the instruments entering the worship service. But I think to compartmentalize the worship, and I read in the newspaper here where some of the mega churches here, that they're not even going with the ages like 50 and up. They are going with like 40 and below. So that means you have a totally different kind of music that's going on there. So I believe if they compartmentalize it and give each person a chance, each person at an age bracket,
group,
to have their own music. And some people think you can mix it, you know, can mix it up and it'll please everybody, but that's not the case from what I've heard.
There's no way to mix an old spiritual hymn with something where there's a lot of emotions involved with it, and somebody else come along with the same hymn blowing a saxophone and playing drums with it. And when you mix that, it really doesn't mix well.
That's right. You're putting old wine in new bottles. That's right.
Very good. I appreciate that.
That's right.
And now we've got about a minute and a half here, Minister Taylor.
Yes, sir.
And this gives you an opportunity to perhaps leave us with some words that you'd like to leave the audience with this morning. This is your opportunity to do so.
Okay. Well, I would say that I'm speaking on behalf of the elderly, the widows, and the orphans in our churches. And I believe that being in Music City, and there is a National Museum of African American Music is being prepared to be built. I believe that this is an opportunity for the music of the African American hymns and spirituals to be restored. If everybody would try to get on one accord, you know, and be patient enough for the Spirit to move and be allowed to come into church and not get angry, and realize that that time period where the music was used into the streets, it's time to use the life of Dr. J. Robert Bradley to bring our music back into the church. You know?
And instead of thinking about the life of Dr. Martin Luther King that was concerned with the spiritual and with the civil rights movement and protests and et cetera, you're now saying that Sir Bradley is a good representative of how we could conduct ourselves in reference to music today.
In reference to music.
I appreciate that.
Yes,
and of course, we've got about 14 seconds. Let me thank you as well as our audience for, and let me encourage them to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.